Eric Parker, Regional Vice President with PFS. Hey, just want to really send a message, really talk to you today a little bit about really the urgency of a fast start. And what I mean by that is really urgency as far as really getting a brand new associate off to a fast start. One of the biggest challenges a lot of times is really kind of like, once you start recruiting people, is exactly what to do with the people, how to go about doing it, but more importantly, being urgent about getting people off to a fast start. One of the things that we have, of course, in our office is we do a fast start manual. Really, that just means getting, in front of the person within, 24 hours from hiring them and really, helping that person kind of process, kind of like the next steps. As far as our business, we always say, hey, if they came to a wealth night, we tell them what we do, but the fast start really tells them the how-tos of how we go about doing it. You can have the most beautiful fast start manual. You can have all the great cliches and the lines and the phrases about Primerica. But what I've learned is that you have to be bold in really helping people get off to a fast start. You have to be bold in telling them what to do. Strong people want to be told what to do. Weak people, you need to tell them exactly what to do. And you have to be bold at really showing people exactly how to go about doing it. And so when you meet with a person who you follow up with them and you get a fast start, you're looking to get them off to a fast start, one of the biggest breakdowns is you start telling the person too much information, just information overload, and in that person's head they're thinking, oh my God, I got to be like a superstar. I didn't know this business was like this. And they're just really kind of like, the more you talk, the further away they're kind of drawn away from you. So you want people to draw into you, and the way you got to draw into them or you want them to draw into you is you got to, number one, you got to take control of really just that fast start. You got to, like with a new recruit comes through the door and you really sit with them on a fast start, I could tell them a lot of stuff, but there's nothing more than really getting some activity set up for that person that day. If you meet back up with me, my intent, my objection, my ambition is to get 2 to 3 appointments set up for you right there at the time we meet. If we get nothing established, that means I failed. That means I've talked too much. I didn't maybe know what to say. I didn't know how to go about saying it. And there's nothing more frustrating to meet with somebody and you throw up all over them and you feel as though, God, I wasted my time. What did I really accomplish? So the accomplishment has to do with, did I get some appointments set up for this person? Did I get some recruiting interviews set? Did I get appointments, KTA set? I need to get some activity, because if you can't take a brand new person and get them off to a fast start, they're very little use to you. Nothing's really going to come from that. You might as well give them their money back. I want willing participants. I don't want to beg people. I don't want to strong arm people. I want to inspire people, and I want people to be excited about really getting out into the field or getting in front of their brand new friend, etc., to really get on the next appointment. Those are some really key nuggets that you have to take away. How fast can I get them out into the field? How fast can I get them a brand new recruit? And you have to be extremely urgent on it. So a couple takeaways I want to do, and I want to kind of table this really one or two ways. The first way is I want to table it with let's just say we've outlined a top 25 name list or top 50 or whatever, and this person has a lot of names on the list, and many of them are out of the market. They're 3-pointers and below. Okay, so one of the things I know that we have to really take control of that is because most people are really uncomfortable. As crazy as it seems, 7 out of 10 people you're going to sit with, they're going to be completely risk adverse, meaning their best friend they grew up with, they played basketball with, they went to Boys and Girls Club with, but they're afraid to talk to them about this business. They don't tell you that, but man, they're squirming in their seat. They don't know exactly what to say, and you throw a script in front of them, you think they're going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Okay, 30% of those people, you show them exactly what to do. They say, hey, get out of my way. I'm going to go make some money. They're going to call their friend, and they're ready to go. Okay, so I'm speaking for the majority who probably are not going to cooperate in that regards. So if I got a brand new person who's sitting in front of me, and I'm, pretty much just, hey, look, I did an orientation. We kind of talked about some things. We got a hot list, really 15, 20 minutes. I'm getting a list. I'm not going to be there 30, 40 minutes, way too long. If this person's stalling, balking, hey, either I'm going to get them going or I'm going to get them gone. And sometimes getting them gone may be, hey, look, you know what? Maybe this isn't for you. Hey, there's strength in taking something away from people. And again, strong people want to be told what to do. Weak people need to be told what to do. So there's strength in the opportunity. You really have a right or privilege to determine, hey, do I really want to work with this person? Okay. I love everyone, but hey, there's some people I'm just absolutely not going to work with because if they're not going to cooperate. It's really hard to kind of get people to really where they want to go. And once you start growing and getting bigger, you can really cherry pick some of the people that you do want to work with and some of the ones that you don't. But you better teach everybody in your base shop exactly how to go about doing this. So if I have a brand new person, let's just say that person is, they created a list as, again, 25 top 50 names. And basically I'm sitting with them and I'm going to ask them. So question may be, this is for some of the single people that are on their list. Remember, 3 or below. I'm dealing with that first, and then I'll deal with the 4 and 5s. But the 3 and 4, 3-pointer, maybe they're single, they're 26, 27, they're living at home. They got some ambition. So sitting with them, what I'm going to ask them is, hey, look, who are the top 5 people that could be just as good as you or better than you in this business? So I'm going to ask them that question, okay? We already created a list, and on that list, I know those are going to be the people I'm going to cherry pick and call first, okay? I do another tape that really kind of talks a little bit about, how to get the list. I think the important thing on getting a list from people, you have to really convey and get people where they feel, hey, you're competent, you know what you're doing. Hey, you know what, Greg, you know what, the people that you have on this list, I just want to assure you, you feel good about working with me. You feel good about the things I said thus far. Man, you're gonna be totally confident about the people that we're working with. I'm not gonna disrespect you. I'm not gonna make you look bad. I'm gonna treat them with the same firm respect. You have nothing to worry about. The people that you're gonna take me to go see, I want you to feel totally confident about that. See, when I say those things to people, their anxiety level goes from here and it goes there because they're like, oh my God, I got to get this guy in front of my brother. Oh my God, I got to get him in front of my cousin. That's how they're thinking. You want them thinking that way because they know that you're going to deliver. You're going to help them, right? So it's not that person on stage. You're on stage too because, hey, it takes 10 hours, right, to recruit somebody. Don't assume that just because we're sitting here, that's our first interaction. Hey, I don't know you. They got to buy into you. And that takes a little bit of time. So the more you spend with them, you kind of talk to them, hey, they start to develop that relationship. It starts to foster, and that person starts to say, hey, I really like this guy. I really like this gal. So if I'm sitting in front of somebody, and let's just say I asked them that question, hey, again, who are the top 5 people on this list that could be just as good as you or if not better than you in this business? And they're going to cherry pick. They're going to say, hey, Will, Tony, Tina, Angie. Hey, they're going to list some people, right? And they're all single, right? I know they're out of the market. I know I'm not going to, go see them, in their homes and that type of thing. So this is a direct way I'm going to go about doing it. I'm going to have them get on the phone. Okay. So here, I'm going to be really simple on the phone. When I have them get on the phone, I'm going to have them call their best buddy. But I know if I left it up to them, they're probably going to screw it up. Hey, look, I'm doing life insurance, financial services, whatever. And that person is going to be totally freaked out. So here's what I'm going to coach them on what to say. Hey, George, let's just say he's calling his friend George. Hey, George, this is Brian. I'm sitting here with a guy named Derek Parker, who's a regional vice president with a financial education company I just started working with. And we are expanding and looking for great people. And you are one of the first persons I thought of. Do you mind taking 5 seconds to really chit chat with Derek? Now, in that script, if you're a district leader or you're a senior rep, you say, hey, look, you have them say, hey, look, I'm sitting here with a senior rep named, Walter Thomas. Or I'm sitting here with a, district leader named whatever your name is. So you want to, have them dictate or give the title of whatever it is you are. Titles don't matter, but they do give significance. So I'm sitting here with a regional vice president with a financial education company. His name's Derek Parker. I started working with them part-time. They're expanding and looking for great people, and you're one of the first persons I thought of. Do you mind taking 5 seconds to chat with them? Notice, let's say 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 seconds. So usually if it's his best buddy, right, he's going to say what? Sure. Okay. I grab the phone. I don't give them a chance to expound and go into anything else. I want to take that phone. I want to be in control of that. Okay. So I take that phone. I'm now teaching this new person exactly how to go about setting up appointments. I'm teaching them how to duplicate himself. I'm teaching them really the foundations of this business. And that right there is so critical because number one, if we start nailing activity and locking in appointments, what do you think is going to happen to that person? He's going to be so excited. It's like you set one up and initially he probably said he didn't know nobody. He set one. Now he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to call Tim. I'm going to call Susie. You got all these names coming. Guys, it's what is called momentum. And that's the momentum you want to create when you're helping people set up, appointments, interviews, and things of that nature. It's amazing how it can work for you if you really get them excited. That's the key, is to get them excited. So you got to take the phone. So when I take the phone, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, hey, look, hey, John, this is Derek Parker. I'm sitting here with your friend Brian. He spoke very highly of you and said you'll be great at our business. I'm not sure if it's something you'd be interested in, but I'd love to meet with you briefly over coffee or about 15 minutes tomorrow or the next day. When are you free? So when I share that with this new recruit over the phone, he's like, wow, very professional, right? Made a statement. I want to meet with this guy. So immediately before I even make that call, I'm thinking in my head, okay, I found out, from the new recruit, where does this friend live? Because say if his friend lives in Calvert County or he lives in DC, I know that geographically I got to put it in my head where I'm going to meet this guy. Okay. If I'm meeting with people like that, I tend to want to meet them like on their turf or maybe somewhere neutral. Oftentimes I'm not going to bring them directly into the office unless I have no other choice, no other alternative. I'll bring them in the office. But a lot of times people come in the office, they see the glossy, they get, freeze up. I'm going to eventually bring them out to the office, of course, through wealth night, op night, that type of thing. But I want to meet them on their own turf because I want to get to them. How fast? Fast. Okay. So again, this is Derek Parker. I'm sitting here with your friend Brian. He spoke very highly of you and said you'd be great at our business. I'm not sure if it's something you'd be interested in, but I'd love to meet with you briefly over coffee or lunch for about 15 minutes tomorrow or the next day. You notice sense of urgency. You want to do it fast. I don't want to say next week or 2 weeks away. Now, if I set an appointment with his buddy, what do you think he's thinking now? Oh my God, this is really big. Now, ideally, I would love to set the appointment that's maybe conducive to, Brian, the new recruit's time. But if he can't meet, let's just say he works a 3 to 11 shift or crazy hours, then I'm going to go meet with his buddy and I'm still going to, share the business opportunity. I just need him to, hey, Brian, your buddy's probably going to call you back. He asks you, what is this all about? Look, dude, I just need you to be extremely vague. Don't tell him, too much. If you divulge too much information, you're going to lose them in the mix and they'll call you back and say, hey, I'm not interested. Okay. So, hey, do I have your word? Yeah. Hey, you got my word. So I'm going to meet with him and I'm going to share the opportunity of the way it's supposed to be and objectively recruit him onto Brian's team. Okay. So that's a very, very simplified way of meeting with a new recruit, meeting 2 and 3 pointers, 1 pointers out of the market. I'm going to get to their friends right away. I want to recruit them, bring them into the business and get them going and excited about what it is we do. So the key is to work with people so they have this down. So when they sit with a new recruit, they know exactly what to do with that person. Because it's like a time bomb. Tick, 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 tick. The longer we delay, the recruit's thinking, man, can I really do this? Do I want to do this? I don't know. Doubt. Things like that kick in. And then next thing you know, they wash out of the business. So we have to be skilled at basically doing that. Now, this is a second way. Okay. Second way. So I could have a new recruit send out text messages to their friends, etc. So I could take the new recruit. I could send him a forwarding text. I say, look, I don't want you to modify this text. Here's what I want you to do. I'm going to send you a text and I want you to forward it out to some of your friends. Now, don't do a blast group text, because if you do a blast group text, what tends to happen is they see the group, they see all their friends on blast. They're going to ignore that. So send it out to them individually. So, hey there, here's a text we'll say, hey there, I just started working with a large financial education company that's expanding in the DMV and looking for great people. You're the first one I thought of. and you may receive a call from my district manager, Derek Parker, to discuss more with you about the company. Okay, so 9 times out of 10, if he sends that text message out, right, he's probably going to have to explain a little bit, because his buddy's going to may send him a text message back. His close buddy will probably call him, but maybe a distant buddy, he may send him a message back. What is it? Okay, so my corresponding text would say something like this: hey, I just started working part-time with a large financial education company, and part of my responsibility is to help them expand. Okay, they're looking for people part-time or full-time to fill their office here, in Bowie. So if you're interested, I'll pass your number on to my district manager, regional manager, whatever, RVP, to call and set up an interview and answering questions that you may have. So 9 times out of 10, if they know it's something, hey, office oriented, expansion, business, you notice I didn't say financial services, helping families we lose people when we start divulging things like that. When we start sounding salesy, people tend to resist. But when we sound like we're building, right? We're expanding, we're growing outlets, we're looking for offices, people can pass a background check part-time, full-time. Those types of things capture people. So we have to make sure that, hey, our words, right? Words are key. We have to make sure that our words, that we're using softeners in terms of really attracting people. So a text would be ideal as far as having that person, maybe they came in, they got to really run. Maybe I had a chance to do 2 interviews, set up two people to work with. But maybe he had to go. Okay, so I'm gonna send a text because I'm gonna get him or her going, because I'm gonna either get him going or I'm gonna get him gone. Okay, so again, if they send out a text, then again I'm gonna call that person back and I'm gonna say, hey Jim, this is Derek Parker, district manager, regional vice president. Did Brian mention I'd be calling you? Okay. He said, yeah, Brian spoke highly of you and said you'd be, great in a business like ours. And I would love to spend 15, 20 minutes with you tomorrow or the next day for coffee or lunch, And then Brian, the guy may say, hey, what is it? We're a very large financial education company. We're rapidly expanding in DMV. We're looking for people to come work with us part-time, full-time, who can pass a background check. So if you have a customer service, background's a plus. But if you don't, that's fine, because we train you. I love to spend 15, 20 minutes with you tomorrow or the next day. What works best? So again, I'm really going to be, I'm controlling exactly the process of how I'm going to go about initiating that contact. And that's very key. You want to be the initiator and control the conversation. I'm going to control my schedule. Okay. Again, if I'm going to meet with that person, I'm going to control the location where I'm going to sit them there. Ideally, if Brian, the new recruit, can really, go with me, hey, great. But if not, that's okay. So you want to make sure that you continuously have a lot of these going, because a lot of times people will get people out of the market on the list and they'll just pass them up. They'll tell them, hey, invite their friends to op night. They struggle with trying to get people there. They don't know what to say, how to go about doing it. So this is really a great way to accelerate recruiting, or really accelerate getting in front of people right away, and really building a team for that person right away. If you a recruit's not a recruit until they have a recruit. So we want to make sure that we get that recruit real fast, get a recruit for them real fast. Now, of course, if we're dealing with 4 and 5 pointers, really the other way, as far as working with people, meaning this person has people on their list who's married, maybe they own a home, they got kids, they're strictly 4 and 5 pointers. Okay. If they're not a 4 and 5 pointer, I'm not going to visit them at their home. I'm not going to go see his aunt who's basically a 2 pointer. Maybe she doesn't work. I'm not wasting my time with that. Okay. So they got to be a 4 and 5 pointer. So I'm going to qualify that. I'm going to say, hey, tell me a little bit about what your cousin, he's a 5 pointer. What does he do? How much income does he make? What does his wife do? When's the last time you've been to the house? So when I get that person, I'm going to teach him exactly what to say, how to call his cousin. Okay. He's going to do it in front of me. Again, 7 out of 10 people are what? Risk adverse. If I feel as though he's got a really good market, okay, maybe he's a little gun shy on the phone. Again, I may take over the call, but a lot of times those people I find are a little bit more comfortable using the other script, because it's very well scripted out. It's really simplified. So again, that script would be really simple, 4 and 5 pointer. Hey, let's just say they're married. He's calling his cousin. And again, we're going to do that when? Right now. We're going to get that set up. So ideally, 3 or more before he leaves my office, but minimally 3 appointments. Because I want him to really get in the habit of learning how to set appointments. Because as you get going and you're building a team and you're working with people, you can't sit down with everyone every time and really try to help them, with appointments. You want them calling you saying, hey, look, I got 1, I got 2 tomorrow, I got 3 the next day. Man, that's excellent. So I'm going to have him call his friend or his cousin up who's married. I'm going to say, hey, so he's basically going to say, hey, Jim, this is Brian again. Hey, how you doing? Small talk, basically 30 seconds of small talk. How's it going? Hey, everything's going great. Hey, listen, the reason I'm calling you is I need a favor. I'm still working down, maybe at the shipyard. I'm still, doing things like that. But man, I tell you, it's getting kind of tough. I'm looking at doing something totally different. I'm working with part-time with a financial education company. And in the next 7 days, I need to get trained and licensed. And I want to sit with you and Tina just so I can learn the process of what I'm going to be doing. Nothing to buy. Hey, I'm working with a trainer. I need about 30 minutes. Can you help me? Now, that's going to tell me right then and there whether or not this guy, Brian, has credibility. Because if he calls his cousin like takes him 50 different ways, which he very well may do that. Okay. Timing may not be right. Something may be going on with the cousin. But 90% of the time, if the credibility is intact, his cousin, hey, sure, man, no problem. Tina's got to be there. Okay, great. We got your back. Hey, not a problem. You'll set a time and we'll be off to the races. That tells me a lot as far as the credibility that person has right there on the phone. I can tell right then and there if he's got good credibility or if his credibility is a little bit shady, whatever. Now, his credibility may be attributed to he's younger. Okay, let's just say Brian's like, 24, 25. His cousin may be in his 30s. Okay, so I may have to take over that call initially. I may, call up and basically say, hey, look, I'm sitting here with your cousin, Brian, who's going to be working with us, part-time. You got a couple minutes. I want to ask you some questions about Brian. So I may have to take that call and really ask credibility related questions and then ask whether or not Brian would have enough credibility to sit with his cousin for 20, 30 minutes, So that's another approach. But the important thing is I have to be urgent as far as getting Brian going. If I'm not going to show Brian success right away, his likelihood of staying here long term is just going to dwindle. Most people think that, if I just sign him up for class, I tell him about the next meeting, that he's going to come back. And you see so many people wash away like that because shame on us. We didn't do the part that we needed to do to really lock them in. And we could have got a lot more leverage from that person. And the way you build leverage is by locking them in through new recruits and then certainly new appointments and activity. So, if I got this list and I'm going to get a copy of this list, because if Brian, God forbid, if he bails or whatever, I've conveyed with him on the front end, hey, Brian, I want you to be here long range. I want you to win. But in the event that you don't, for whatever reason, you're okay with me taking these names and using them as referrals. Oh, yeah, sure, no problem. So, hey, he's not my enemy. He's not my foe. He's my teammate until he tells me otherwise. But the important thing is we just have to be completely urgent as far as getting people off to a fast start and really getting people into the very next step, which is the infantry steps of getting them in the field. And it's really, really simplified, just as I talked about today, is really having a sense of urgency of getting that person in the field, meeting with them 24 hours, after we've recruited them into the business, and really, conveying some basics, but keeping this extremely simple. Because if I can't keep it simple, I'm going to lose them anyway. But I want people to be strong and confident. And I know as your confidence increases, man, your competency is just going to go through the roof. So just wanted to shoot you some takeaways today about being urgent, about getting people off to a fast start and really just having total fun and domination in this business. So let's go to the next level, team. Happy to be in business with you. Happy to be your teammate. God bless.